smallest.
Well, I mean, if you find one, they're in a row, that's what consecutive
You wanna
means.
find three?
It's these kind of questions right here that just make me blank in the head.
We're gonna get it,
Faster,
we're
Harry.
gonna get it, we're gonna get it.
Makes
Here,
me
get
just
some from
wonder
Sweet.
what life is about.
A big key is knowing what consecutive means, that's in a row. So for example, 9, 10, 11, that's just an example, that's not the right answer.
Hey, check that. Check that.
What does median mean? Is that
The
like?
middle number,
They don't even get a number.
Oh, you
Guess.
I had 3 of them.
So the largest, less than 3 times 7. Okay.
The bug is going.
Never had
Even without like.
Less than 3 times 7.
No one understands. We're busted with a rubber.
Largest number is 17 less than. Okay, less than 17 or 17 times.
Too much. If cold water goes right on my tooth. I've never had blue in my life.
okay, pick me a variable to represent a number.
X.
Okay. So if X is my first number, what would the next consecutive number have to be?
2x?
No,
Wait, 1x?
no,
Hey, x plus 1.
X plus 1,
What the heck?
because numbers go up by 1 if they're consecutive,
Oh.
right? Think of 3, 4, 5. To get 4, you do 3 plus 1. To get 5, you do 3 plus 2. They go up by 1 every time. So my middle number would be X plus 1, and then my third number would be what?
X plus 2.
X plus 2. Okay, there's something to start with.
Okay. 5 times the largest number.
That's the answer.
5, 4, 5?
No, 3, 4, 5.
Is 17 less than 3?
What do you mean?
It's 3 times the sum? Okay. Oh my goodness, wait. Okay.
But it is definitely. Which one would I go with?
5 times is...
That is
so wrong.
I know.
17 less
You
than...
would know. You would know. Like that.
The sum of the smallest and median number equal.
How I do it? Y'all done taught me something else. This is all wrong.
It's greater than, it says is there. Is there gonna be an equal sign or thing? Zero? Equal. There's gonna be an equal sign or thing. I'm a genius. I don't even know if get this wrong. Okay, let me work this out. Yes, no, but if you did it together.
Well, if y'all say something like that.
And then there actually be two.
I don't know.
Elena, you've just forgotten one piece. It's 17 less than 3 times the sum of the other two, so the top piece would have minus 17 on the end.
Okay, so that 5 times the largest
Or
number.
Hunter's saying,
21 times 5. 105 is 17 less than 17.
well, now, when you read the problem again, it says 5 times the largest number is. What does is mean in a math problem?
19 plus 21.
It's where you put your equal sign. So you're gonna set those two things equal to each other.
Okay.
Yep. Now start simplifying.
5
Good job.
times the largest number.
Oh, I already know it. Can I do it real quick?
105 is 17 less. Alright, don't make it sloppy. Which is 88. 3x plus 3x then 3x plus 3x. Okay, so that's when you do all these times 3, which is 120. That 5 times the largest number. It's 17. It's 15 less. I'm 2 numbers off. And then that's 6 x. I can't freaking run.
Is this what, this is correct. So is this what you got when you solved that?
Yeah, and that the thing is, it says, no, it's 15 less, and this is,
Oh
or
my
17
God.
less, and this is 15 less. So I'm 2 numbers off. Yep, stop.
But you didn't write that correctly.
No, it's still.
X is the smallest one.
Okay, yeah, go do 3 minus 17. Okay. Oh my
Now, does
God.
that work? See if that works.
Okay, I lift up. Okay. No, do this one. Okay. So 5 times the largest number, so that's 23 times 5 is 17 less than 3 times, so what's 21 plus 23? That's 44. 44 times 3 is 132.
Yes.
171 minus 17
X is equal to 1.
is 115.
X equals 24. So now we have to plug our X in. Now you have to plug it in.
No, there's nothing to plug it into.
15.
Now, they got a different answer over here than y'all did, so I'm perplexed now.
Oh my gosh, I actually did
Gotta figure
that.
out why y'all got different answers.
My brain was like, we're like a genius right now. I texted off. Dude, I should go to college. I'm taking a picture of this. I'm like so proud of myself. For real. For real. My dad's like, you have a genius.
Here, move over. I'm trying to see. Y'all both got good stuff, but y'all got different answers. I'm trying to figure out where we went different. 3x, 6x. They got minus 17. And you've got minus 14. And they brought down as minus 11. Did they not get the...
Oh,
Okay,
these aren't right,
and-
because it's 17 less.
Okay.
This is 17 less than the sum of the one.
That's mine.
Kira, in your, right here, where you've got 3 times x plus 2 on yours,
Mm-hmm.
that is supposed to be 3 times the sum of the smallest and the median. So you put the smallest and the biggest,
Okay.
so that's gonna make yours be a little bit different.
So it'd be x plus 1.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so we did it right.
Alright, get, your notes made if you need, and I'll go over it here. Both groups did very well. Good job.
We did it very well, guys.
So I started you off with the expressions of 3 consecutive numbers. Sometimes it could be a problem that says like 3 consecutive even numbers. So then it wouldn't have been x plus 1 anymore. Like if you go 2, 4, 6, it's adding by 2's every time. So you've got to be able to pay attention to that. So 5 times the largest number. So here's my largest number. So 5 times x plus 2. Just reading it as I go. 5 times the largest number. And then it's the word is. Is in math is your equal sign. 17 less than means I'm going to take 17 away from something. So I'm going to put my minus 17 on the back side. 17 less than 3 times the sum of the smallest and the median. So my x and my x plus 1. Sum means I add them. So that's what you're looking at for your original equation. Okay, so on the left side, both groups distributed the 5 and got 5x plus 10 there. Now on the right side, it was interesting because y'all attacked it different ways. So over here on the left side of the board where Leilani was working, she went ahead and distributed the 3 like it is to all 3 of those. But over here where Kira was writing, she combined, no, maybe she did distribute the 3 first. I was thinking some of you might have combined like terms, but it looks like everybody just distributed the 3, so I'll do that. So that gets me 3x plus 3x plus 3 minus 17. So now on the right side, my 3x and 3x is 6x. So I'm going to drop down here. I got 5x plus 10 is equal to 6x. And then my 3 and negative 17 get me negative 14. Okay, looking at what Leilani did first over there, she got rid of the minus 14 first. So she's gonna add 14 to both sides. You didn't have to do that first, but I just am going with what she did. I probably would have subtracted 5x first, but that's what I'll probably have to do next. So 5x plus 24 equals 6x. So now it is subtract 5x from both sides. Move that ball out of the way. So I got x is 24. Okay, so looking over there on the far left where I made the expressions for my numbers, x is my smallest number. So my smallest number is 24. So 1 more than 24 is 25. And 2 more than 24 is 26. Alright, when you get that note cleaned up, then we're going to do some solving inequalities. It's labeled up there on the board over there. Hunter, get your telephone on, put up
What'd you say the median was?
the middle number.
Like, when you put them least greatest?
Uh-huh.
What's the mode?
Most often. You're remembering some mean, meaning, and mode words. Good job.
I learned all that crap in 6th grade
Yeah,
and had it down,
yeah.
but then it just left.
Wait, what's mode?
The one that repeats most often.
So the most common number?
Yeah.
Which one am I missing?
Mean.
Mean, median, mode,
Which one's that?
Average.
And in range?
Highest minus lowest.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
What was mode?
The most common, is that what you said, Kinley?
What?
Most common, is that what you wrote for mode?
Uh-huh. The most.
Highest minus lowest. Okay, can I erase what I got up there? You're good on that? Okie dokie, let's do some inequalities now.
Did you say inequality?
Yes, ma'am. Sure did. Sounds familiar. Hey, you bet your boots it does.
Equality.
Uh-huh. I got 5b plus 1 is greater than 7v minus 17. That's the first one in a while, I thought maybe they got it fixed.
What the heck is wrong with
I
them?
don't know, but it sure is.
They're working on the new building and it's triggering it.
What?
They're working on the new building and so it's triggering the alarms over
They're
here.
doing the wiring and stuff over there. Alright, so we solved these with equal signs, but now I put a greater than sign in there. We're doing inequalities today. The steps to solve them are gonna be the same. There is one special instance that we'll have to talk about, we'll have to remember, is when you flip the sign. There's special times when you flip the sign, and we'll get to that in a minute. So right now, what we're looking at, we've got 4 terms, so you can pick any of those 4 you want to start with. So somebody start us off.
Wait,
I'm just,
Subtract 1.
Okay, I'm gonna subtract 1.
I didn't.
I mean, you could have started with any of them, but Kira was the, or Jay was one, Kira was the one that started this, so I went with that. 1 minus 1's nothing. Bring down my greater than sign. Bring down my 7b. And now I've got a minus 18, because negative 17 minus 1 is negative 18. Okay, now since we did that subtract 1 with Kira first, we don't have much of a choice about what to do here. What are you probably gonna need to do now? Okay, subtract the 7b. So this is good because we're gonna have to review the trick on the very first problem. Now, 5v minus 7v
negative
is negative 2v greater than negative 18.
So it wouldn't be like B is less than that?
Okay, very good. Riley, we're gonna divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. Over here they cancel out, so I've got v. Here's the rule I needed to remind you about. When you multiply or divide by a negative, your inequality sign flips. So we just divided by negative 2, so we have to flip that to a less than sign. And then negative 18 divided by negative 2 is 9.
When we're dividing by negative?
Multiply or divide by a negative. So now we're gonna learn some different ways to write these answers. So the direction says solve, graph, and write in interval notation. Solve, graph, and write in interval notation. So we just solved. So our graph is gonna be on a number line, so just draw you a little number line. I don't care how many numbers you put on it. I'm pretty lazy about some of this sometimes, so I'm just gonna put the number I need. Now, we gotta put a mark on that number.
Oh, yeah.
There's 2 options for a mark. I could, I'm gonna erase, so don't do this. I could have a colored in dot like that on it. I'm gonna erase. Or
Circle.
I could just leave my circle empty. So which one of those cases is for what? Do you remember that? It's been a long time since you did that in Algebra 1 probably. Okay, here's how you decide. Can V be 9? Look, no, it has to be less than 9, so it cannot equal 9. So that means I gotta leave my circle on 9 empty. Okay? But now can V be anything else other than that? It can be anything less than 9, right? Which way on this number line is less than? To the left of 9 or to the right of 9? Left, so I gotta shade everything
I have a question.
to the left.
I have a question.
Yes.
You found out there means B is greater than
No, it means V is less than 9.
Wait, I
that,
don't
right?
understand.
The alligator chomping? Like,
I don't know about an alligator.
It's
I
gonna
just know
keep
that's
it
the
on.
less than sign. What were you gonna say, Hunter? You gonna do the alligator too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's gonna chomp the nine.
Make yourself a note. This means less than, LT.
Yeah, I already did that.
This means less than or equal to. If it's got the bar underneath it, it's equal to. So less than would have an open circle, less than equal to would be colored in. This means greater than. This means greater than equal to. So greater than would have an open circle, greater than equal to would be colored in. So you just learn when you color it in, if it's got the bar underneath it. Okay, if it's got the bar underneath it, you color it in. Kelly?
I'm not understanding. The
This-
circle thing. I
Okay.
understand everything else.
Okay, you're good, we'll get it figured out.
Hold on.
This does not have a bar underneath it. So that means our symbol is just going to circle the number, because it can't be equal to 9. It's only things that are less than 9. So if you were to color that in, that means it's equal to 9. So we gotta show, no, we're not equal to it, but we're everything less than it. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, never mind. I got it now. I
Oh.
saw what you.
Oh, okay. Now, I said to solve it, we did. I said to graph it, we did. I said to write it in interval notation. That's what we gotta finish up. We gotta write it in interval notation. It's easiest for me to write it in interval notation after I've graphed it, because I'm just gonna kind of pull it off the number line. So looking at my number line, how far to the left is this gonna go? Forever. I shaded it forever, so that is infinity. Good, Riley. So on the left side, I'm gonna put infinity, which is a sideways 8. And then I'm gonna put a comma. How far does it go on the right side?
9.
To 9.
As close to 9 as you can get without touching it, so I'll put my 9, and then I close that parentheses. That's interval notation. Now listen to me, because this will be new. It's either gonna be your interval notation, oh, I gotta fix this. It goes to the left on infinity, so I gotta show that's negative infinity. Okay, because left, so let me get my negative in front of it. Alright, yep, so these interval notations can be in either parentheses or brackets. So we gotta be able to know when to use a parentheses and when to use a bracket. This one I use both parentheses. It's a parentheses, it's the same concept as this. It's a parentheses if you don't actually touch it. So we don't actually touch 9, it has a circle on it, so we used a parentheses. If it had had the bar underneath it, we would have put a bracket. Okay? Now why does infinity get a parentheses?
Because you can never touch
You can right, you can never touch it, it keeps going. That's your MC Hammer, can't touch this.
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
So like
You
my
just
whole
didn't want me to
life,
see MC
like
Hammer.
my whole life, like my teachers have always told me like, if it's on this side and it's like the mouth is open like this, like an alligator is going to chomp the other side, so it's greater than that side.
I do not ever teach you about alligators or Pac-Man. I don't know.
You said Pac-Man last year.
No, I do not. I do not.
You said it one time.
I
Because
might have
we-
said it as saying,
we
don't
had-
say this.
No, you said it because we had to sit there for the whole class period begging her to say it.
No, I don't know. We're not little tots anymore. We can just remember what a sign looks like without having to be alligators. I mean, I got an alligator in here. That's enough alligators for us. His name's Kevin. His name's Kevin.
If
Yes,
it's
sure. Everyone will talk to him.
well, no, never mind.
All right, let's do another. Okay, let's do another. Let's look at 3 minus the quantity of 4m plus 1 is greater than or equal to 5m minus 25.
Oh crap.
What's it matter?
I just wrote something wrong.
Okay, so we gotta, the left side's not ready, we gotta clean it up. So how can I do, what are you gonna do to the left side?
Do order operator.
Okay.
Isn't that what it's called? Just put the thing in the thing.
Put the thing in the thing, I like it. We're gonna put the thing in the thing, Jalen. So, what, can I ask you what thing you're gonna put in the thing?
The negative.
Okay, so this means, that's good, Keely, this means I got 3 minus 4m and a minus 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I can combine like terms there. So I've got a 3 and a minus 1. So I've got a 2 and a negative 4m is greater than or equal to 5m minus 25.
What the heck?
Alright, so now pick what you want to do first.
Add 25.
Okay, Austin's adding 25. Doesn't have to be that, but he was first, so I'm going with him. To itself and to its buddy on the other side. So I gets me 27 minus 4m is greater than or equal to,
Why is it minus 4? Then 3 times 12. Minus 3 times 4.
I didn't do 3 times 4. Where are you getting 3 times 4?
The parentheses.
But there's a minus sign between, it's not right next to it. So this says that I'm subtracting the parentheses. It doesn't say to multiply by 3. It says to subtract these from 3. That's subtraction sign. If that subtraction sign hadn't been there, I would have multiplied. Okay, so what does Austin need to do now?
Add the 4.
Add the 4m to
You
itself.
get 27 greater or equal to 9m. Then you divide by 9 and you get 3.
Now, it's down there at the bottom, 3 is greater than or equal to m, and that is a correct answer. And if you write your answer like that, that's okay. But I'm fixing to ask us to put this on a number line, and it's easier for me to graph it on a number line if the variable comes first. So I'm gonna rewrite all that with the variable first, which means it would say m, and then since I'm putting the variable first, I gotta make everything be in terms of that, right? So you agree those two are the same things, just written differently? Okay, Kenley, what were you gonna ask, sweetie?
I was gonna ask. Oh, to see if you're like right, like if m is really greater than or equal to 3, would you just plug 3 in for m?
Just like we did
And you
on the,
could just solve it like.
yeah, just like we did yesterday and on those, yep. Alright, so let's go to our number line now. So draw your little number line, put your 3 on there. So I've got the bar underneath this inequality sign, right? So what does that mean I'm gonna do to my circle on 3?
Close it.
Very good. Now here's why it's my personal preference to rewrite it like I did. See, this is correct. You're gonna get that right. I just like this one better because when the variable's first, you're always just gonna shade which way your sign's pointing if you're ever confused. So, I mean, that helps some people. So this says shade everything to the left, right? To the left, correct? I shouldn't say left, right? To the left, correct? So everything to the left. Even your arrow. So there we've got our graph. So can you write the interval notation now? How far to the left do we go?
Forever.
Negative infinity. And remember, can't touch infinity. It always gets a parentheses. Where do we stop on the right? 3. And do we touch 3? Yes, so that side gets closed with a bracket.
Can you explain the brackets?
It's the same as if you color in your circle or not. If you touch it, if you color in the circle, it's a bracket. So if you don't touch it, if the circle's open, it's a parentheses. So look at the last one we did. It had a parentheses and a parentheses because we didn't touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll put that at the top of my pages.
You bet your boots.
So like this. And it's shaded in this. So we finished.
Did we finish?
This is an open circle. It's not connected. Open, close.
Did I agree with that?
Sir Hunter's teaching you over there. I like it.
Yeah, and they're smart.
Not really, but.
Like on my part.
These are smart.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a kid say algebra 2 more than once?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have to take the back.
Some of my favorites. Alright, start me off here. This one's gonna be something weird. I'm gonna show you 2 weird ones. Start me off.
You just do the parentheses. You just fill it in. How do you do it?
Distribute is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a preference on what to do first?
Add the 27. Hey, you're gonna get 0 X.
Woo! You're on it!
Hey, that wouldn't be, that's not
I
right.
told you we're doing a couple of weird ones and you've already, hey, you got it figured, good job. So I got 24x, 27 minus 27 is nothing, he gone, greater than 24x plus 31. Okay, now we're all fixing to discover what Kenley just discovered, because our next step will be to get rid of a 24x, right?
Yeah, just X is like
No, no,
everything.
no, no. What's 24x minus 24x?
X.
It's 0.
No. X is 1 X.
Do we keep the X with it?
Nope. Just 0. Because if you put the x, that means
Oh,
1x. We didn't have 1x left over, right?
But 0 is not greater than
Okay, so
31.
that's where what we're looking at now. Remember when we did the absolute value equations, if it was true or false kind of deal? So Kenley's right, 0 is not greater than 31. That's a dumb sentence, isn't it? 0 is not greater than 31, so it's false statement, which means no solution. So when you got no solution, then there's nothing to graph, and there's no interval notation. That's just all you would have to write on that one.
What if there's like less than it'd still be
That's what kind we're gonna do next, so that means it's a true statement, and it would be all our numbers. That's what we're fixing to do. Okay, there's one other, remember when we did no solution, and then there was also another weird one where any number would work, right? Oops. So let's look at that, everybody done? Writing on that one? Okay, so this one is 11x minus 4 is less than or equal to 6x minus the quantity of 3 minus 5x.
What the heck?
Okay, so the left side, there's not anything, 11x minus 4, that's as simple as it can get. But the right side I need to clean up. So that's similar to when Kelly said earlier, do the thing to the thing. It's got a minus sign in front of that whole parentheses, right? So I'm just gonna drop down my left side real quick. So I'll have 6x, and then I got a minus 3. And then what's it gonna be with the 5x if it's a minus and a minus? Plus 5x, good job. Now you've got like terms on the right side. You've got a 6x and a plus 5x. What does that get you?
11x.
Mhm.
No one said.
Okay, so how do you, we're to the place where you get to pick what to do. Anybody got a preference?
Add the 4.
At 4 over here is Kira's wish. 11x is less than or equal to 11x plus 1. Now Kira doesn't have a choice. What we need to do?
Why is it plus
Move
5x
the 11
and not
to the other.
Hey, 0 is a.
Okay, hold on. Let me back up and answer Riley's question. See the minus sign out in front? So you got minus sign out in front of the parentheses and a minus sign in front of the negative 5x. So that minus and negative turns to a positive. Remember that?
Add the 11 on the right side to the one on the left.
Well, we got subtracted.
Or subtract.
Yep. So what's 11x minus 11x?
0.
0, less than or equal to
1.
1.
All real numbers.
Okay, so is that true or false?
No, it's true.
It's true, because 0 is less than or equal to 1, so we just got a true statement. So that means that all real numbers work. You can put that on a number line.
Wait, all real numbers.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
That means any number you plug in for x is gonna make that a true statement.
How do you write that? This? No, that's pi.
It's a capital R with 2 legs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just write.
So what am I gonna shade on my number line?
Above the one.
A 1, a 0, I don't know.
Where are all real numbers on the number line?
Oh, after
Both
after,
ways.
The whole line, right?
I thought that they can't be negative.
No?
All real numbers?
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Whole numbers.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm shading my entire number line. How's that gonna look in the interval notation? How far to the left do we go?
Infinity.
Negative infinity to a positive.
Negative infinity to positive infinity. So that's when you can be Buzz Lightyear. You're going to infinity and beyond.
Easy.
Oh my god, I keep putting -8. I really did like 3 times.
Okay, I just got 2 more things I want us to look at. Y'all doing all right? Just look at 2 more things. So all those inequalities were just simple ones. I'm fixing to show you 2 compound ones. So what do you think a compound inequality, what's compound mean?
Not sure.
Say that again?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
No.
I mean, something is, like you think about somebody says they have a compound fracture in their arm. What did that mean about how they broke their arm?
In more than one place.
Okay, in more than one place probably, so might have more than one piece to these inequalities.
Has to be more than one step. Or more than one answer. Or more than one, I don't know.
Y'all are all, you're thinking, yeah.
10 or. What? No.
Okay, so when we start seeing compound inequalities, we're gonna have 2 inequalities separated by either the word or and.
We have to solve for both of them.
So this one we're gonna do first is an or. So that means it can be whatever happens on the left or whatever happens on the right. Okay, so we're gonna solve, graph, and write in interval notation.
Julia Ford, please come to the high school office. Julia Ford to the high school office.
So on the left, let's just solve them one at a time. On the left, what would we do to solve?
You'd minus 4.
Okay, so we'll subtract 4 from both sides. So we got 3x is less than or equal to 6. Then what?
Divided by 3 and then x will get you 2.
Oh, it's not 2.
So x is less than or equal to 2. Okay, now let's go ahead and go solve the one on the right before we start graphing. What do I do to solve it?
You divide by 5.
Good, just a one-stepper over there. So what we, go ahead.
Just kidding.
Okay, so what we found, we've solved. Summer.
Wouldn't you divide it if it's, wouldn't you flip it if it's divided?
Only if we divide by negative. Good question. Remember that, what Summer just said. You flip your sign only when you divide by a negative. So 3x was positive, we didn't have to flip it. 5x was positive, we didn't have to flip it. Okay, so we've got our solve. Now let's think about my number line. Now I am gonna be more specific this time on my number line because I got 2 numbers, so I'm gonna put them both on there. You have to, sounds silly to you, but you have to put the numbers in numerical order. Okay, what I mean by that, don't write this, but I will have people who put it like that. Okay, 9 can't be on the left side of 2, that's not very good, right? So make sure you just, if you wanna just skip and put the 2 numbers, you can, like I'm fixing to, but you gotta put them in numerical order, so it'd have to go like that. Okay, so on the left side with our 2, am I gonna put an open circle or a bar, colored in?
Oh, colored in.
Colored in, cause it's got the bar. And which way will I shade that is smaller than that?
It says the left.
To the left, to the left. Okay. Now what about my 9? Will I color it in or leave it open?
You will leave it open.
Good job. And which way would I shade?
To the right.
To the right, to the right. There you go. You graphed, you've solved.
So now you got a negative infinite by the regular.
Very good. So
Aren't you? I just so sticking on smart.
to the left goes forever, so negative infinity. And then that piece stops at 2. and it touches it, so it gets a bracket.
Oh.
Okay, now, because this is a little bit different.
But it's, oh, just kidding.
I'm just not done. Okay, so now when it's an or, so I'm gonna write this over here. When it's an or, you're gonna put the symbol for a union, which is just a big U like that. So I'm gonna put a union with. Okay, now I'm over here. So remember how I told you a second ago just to drop down the stuff? So well, am I gonna drop down a parentheses or a bracket?
A bracket.
Bracket.
No.
No,
Parentheses.
Parentheses, because the 9 has an open circle. Drop down the 9, and then how far to the right?
Infinity.
Infinity, and infinity always gets a parentheses. Can't touch this. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Hey, I actually kind of understand this just a little bit.
So you said, is it if it's an only or that it gets a use, or is it and?
No, just or. We're gonna do an and next, and I'll show you that. Now, here's also something to remember. See how, and this is my weirdness, but this is what I remember. I say that the shading on an or is gonna go away from each other. It's gonna go to the outside. Most of the time that will happen. The shading on an or goes away. All right, so let's do one that's got the and in there now. Ooh, we're doing good. Might even have some spare time, you think?
We only have one more, right?
My and one, here we go.
We have one more.
Oh, maybe.
It's like all the numbers.
So you could plug in any number under the sun bigger than 9, and it would make that true. So 9, 10, 15, 30, 9 billion.
9 trillion, 9 gazillion,
Well,
9 billion.
so we put the infinity second here because that was the last thing. So the 9 was first. Does that make sense? All right.
9 anything.
All right, so this one, another compound inequality, says 2x plus 3 is greater than negative 9. But this one says, and 8x minus 2 is less than 30. So we got an and this time. So you know to satisfy an or, it could be either or, right? But to satisfy an and, it's gotta be both of them. So they're both just 2 steps to solve, pretty easy to solve. Let's do the 2x plus 3. What do you want to do first there?
Minus the 3.
Minus the 3. So I got 2x is greater than negative 12. Then what am I going to do? Divide by 2. So I got x is greater than negative 6. Now do not flip that sign.
Are we gonna be going over ones with fractions?
I don't know if we will today or not. We'll see.
Or does it have like, end up with the answer with the fractions?
We might not today, but we will. I had a negative, but I said don't flip that sign. Why did I not flip that sign even though I had a negative?
Because you didn't divide by
Okay, good. I divided by a positive 2. So the negative has to be with the variable before you flip it, okay? All right, so let's go to the other side. What do you want to do first on the other side?
Plus the 2.
Add that 2.
And the answer's gonna be x is less than 4.
Get x is less than 32, and then divide by 8. X is less than 4. So we got x is greater than negative 6, and x is less than 4.
Get the plot on both still, right?
Okay, so let's get our number line ready. I'm gonna go, negative 6 is the smaller number, so I'm gonna put it on the left, 4 is the bigger, put it on the right. Both of those are just gonna be colored in circles or open circles.
Both of them are gonna be open.
Okay, neither sign has the bar underneath it, so it stays open. Okay, now, before I start shading, let me make sure I do it right and think about what I'm doing here. It says x has to be greater than negative 6. Greater than negative 6 would start coming this way, right? And x has to be less than 4. Less than 4 would start coming that way. So it's just going to be that part in the middle that gets shaded.
Can you say that again?
Let me shade it and I'll do it again. Whoops, my shading got horrible there. All right, so greater than negative 6. So that's to the right of negative 6. Less than 4, that's to the left of 4.
Yeah.
Okay? So now, and this is what I think Jalen was asking about a second ago, I'm not gonna have any funny symbols in my interval notation. A while ago, we had to put that union symbol, remember, for or, but you're just gonna drop this down. That is not colored in, so it'll just be a parentheses, -6. The 4 is not colored in, so it'll just be a parentheses, and that's it. Because it doesn't go to infinity, it just goes to those places in the middle. Okay?
It's easy.
I know, it's easy, just easy.
I don't know why it's so easy now, but in algebra, when I was in algebra one, it was like,
Well, it's just more new to you then. Okay, so what we wanna do with this for tomorrow are these same things, we wanna practice these same things tomorrow, but also add absolute value bars on them, okay?
Yeah.
Can I get the hard like those ones?
Yes,
Are they all up there?
yes, 1 through 6 is on the top right.
Is there one six?
Yes, this would be 5. The parentheses is if it does not have a bar underneath it, so your circle was not colored in, you can't touch it. The bracket is when it does have a bar, so your circle is colored in.
I need some first.
Now you got 4 minutes.
I just thought about it.
You got 4
I think
minutes.
it's,
You're not gonna take it during class. That's like,
I'll come in.
Are we?
Today I gotta go to the science and lunch, so if I get done in science, I can do that.
yeah, but if not, you can try tomorrow. What was the question, Jalen?